And here we are with the youngest, freshest Fisticuffs sponsored athlete prospect, Mr. Ahsan Ahmed. How you doing, my friend? How you getting on?
Good. That's a freaking intro. That was.
That's alright, isn't it? It's cute.
Can't lie to you. This morning, some hectic morning. Like when you gave me that call, like if you're free or not. That was probably just me waking up just then. Because I was dumb enough to stay up till 4 a.m. to watch the Ben Askren versus Jake Paul fight, and
that's the point as well. We can get into that if you want to go.
That was a disappointment, though. There's not much to talk about.
So, what did you think about the event in itself, in regards of the novelty of the pro athlete who's been established versus the person that comes out of nowhere, out of fame and clout to get that platform? What is your sort of view of that sort of that model as such?
Well, the event was quite random because like when I got onto the live stream, I was just seeing Justin Bieber singing. I was like, what? I was just lost, bruv. Like I didn't know what was going on, and to be fair, when you say against a pro athlete, but I think that's Ben Askren. It's not known for his striking, and then Jake Paul. I'm so pissed at Jake Paul's like gas right now about his thingamajiggy winning that fight.
I know thingamajiggy since I was at school. I think, but here we are.
It's not an accomplishment, man. But fair play to Ben Askren though. If you've seen him after the fight, he was happy as fuck. He probably just looked for payday, and yeah, he seemed sound with it. To be fair.
I mean, this is the whole thing. Everyone gets very salty about it. But in the same vein, is if you could fight McGregor, you wouldn't say, "Oh no, I haven't earned my stripes." You'd say, "Fuck it, where am I? What day is it?" You see what I mean? Getting that platform, I'm like, yeah, you can hate as much as you want, but you wouldn't turn it down if you had the opportunity to.
Nah,
you know
definitely not.
And this is why these things are so interesting. But yeah. But anyway, back to the main event himself, Mr. Ahsan.
Yeah.
Thing is, I've met you since we started training at BST. I mean, I came and I think you joined not too long afterwards, and
Yeah.
I remember seeing your first stint at the club. I remember seeing your first fight, even calling you as well. And again, you've come on so much, and again, it's been this incremental consistency I've been so impressed with. And again, this is why I wanted to sponsor you off the bat, and this is why this is important, because again, person like yourself, you don't make the fuss, but you put the work in. Again, a lot of time for that. Now, regards of from the word go, the idea of being a fighter is always much easier than actually being the fighter, because as you're aware, you've got to train the time, you've got to take the bad rounds, be the nail. How have you found keeping consistent off the initial enthusiasm versus your reality of it?
What you mean, like what keeps you motivated? Do you mean like
kind of, but more from the expectation to what the reality was from the word go?
I don't know. Just like. Let me think. Well, there's loads of stuff that motivates me. Like I know loads of people just give a one-word answer and be like, yeah, that's it. But for me, it's so many aspects. Like for me, example, from my ethnic background, like you don't see that many athletes. Like you don't see that many. Like I'm from Bangladesh. You don't see normally that many Bengali athletes. Like, because to be fair, the way they grow up with their parents normally want them to be an engineer, a doctor, whatever. But I don't want to like lead my life in that stereotype sort of way. I prefer to like be free, like do what I want. And fighting, when I started MMA, and I was training with Raymond Paul when I started junior MMA, and when he said to me, "Mate, you're doing good. Like you're good to like start the adult class," and that I was like, "Yo, shit, something could be in this for me." And when I started going to the classes, like everyone started noticing me doing well, everything. Raymond was like kind of expressing enough. Raymond was like a big help. Like he's the one that pushed me forward to take it seriously. Because when I first started, it was just something. It started off with me doing MMA, just something I could brag about. Not gonna lie, like every
100%.
like every school kid does. Like I just started it thinking, yeah, I mean,
I'm hard as nails.
Exactly, I'm gonna sing cool doing MMA.
You know what? Yeah, look at me, I'm bucky.
Yeah, exactly. Like everyone, I just wanted to say it as a flex, to be fair. But then when I did it, I was like, yo, there could be something in there for me. I could see a future in this, and that's when I started putting time into it. And then, yeah, my whole life just been involved around MMA right now. Like,
But this is what I got so much respect for, because again, what you said there is the background, the stereotypes, these things there. Yeah. The comfortable route would have been stay academic, go in this sort of thing. This is what you should do, quote unquote. But what you've done is to follow the passion.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen, your family are very supportive of it. Again, if you come from that kind of background, you could have people who don't support it. They don't think it's the norms and the values and that kind of thing. So to see someone like yourself pursue a passion that isn't necessarily easy off the bat, but also with your own cultural sort of, I don't know, I'd say not preferences, but again, sort of biases and stuff. So it's interesting to see how you've managed to, I don't know, be you, not be your background, not be your ethnicity, not be this, be who you are. And I like that a lot. I've got a lot of time for that. And one thing with Raymond, I like a lot what you said there, is when you train, it's so ambiguous. You start, you're like, am I good? I don't know. And then how good is good? How good is ready for a fight? You don't know these things, but someone like Raymond who's got that experience, he's seen Amis win and lose, he's seen pros win and lose, he's got an idea of what's ready, what's not, and certain things. And again, this is where you are who you are, you've earned who you are. Now, in regards of competition on the actual day itself, You always seem quite composed. What's going on under the surface with you? How have you found like actual showing up on game day?
You know what it is? Like, you know how most of us get nervous and think like, obviously I get nervous. Like, that'd be a lie. If anyone says I don't get nervous, I'm chatting shit, just to be honest. Yeah, like, but thing is the banter, you know, for well as well. The banter we have here is next level.
Ruthless.
Like, we do not, like, we don't care about others. Like, Jordan especially. Like, okay, so this is my first fight, yeah? Let me tell you about this, yeah? So, there's me, you'd think, my first fight, that's my debut. I'm there with never the shit yet. So this Jordan, he comes up to me, yeah, looks me dead in the eye and tells me, yo, Ahsan, I can feel it. You're about to get knocked out. I'm like, bruh, you're cornering me, yeah, and you're telling me that, like, and he's just there laughing his head off, yeah, and I'm just about to get ready to walk out. I mean, luckily I did win the fight at the end, but flipping out, he knows how to fucking get me on my toes, doesn't he?
But the funny thing with that, as much as it's a sort of proper Jordan wind-up thing to say, it made you have to say, no, I'm not. It made you have to say, do you know what? Shit, that could happen. Like, as much as I play this in my head, I could always win. This is like, shit, I actually could happen. Like, if he said that, what if it happened? Oh, shit, I'm not going to let it happen. Yeah. That's why you got to show up. But still, that's so funny, man.
Yeah.
And you say about that stuff as well, like, the roasting back and forth. Like, you know the whole thing about guys roast each other to their face because when they talk behind their back, it's all nice.
Yeah.
Like, we're like the nth degree of that, man. The savagery is like, you couldn't. What else is left to say behind your back? You know,
nothing. Like, you just go with it, I suppose, isn't it? Like, you just laugh it off.
That's what you got to do for it. Yeah. Now, it's an interesting one anyway. So, like, regardless of how you've stayed, I don't know, consistent with the full-time job as well. Because again, this is a thing. What I really appreciate as well is when you get involved with, obviously, for the flex. And again, as much as you say it quite jokingly, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
People don't have an identity. They think, okay, if I'm an MMA fighter, that means I'm that. I get put in this box. But again, you're coming from someone at school, then going to college, then going to work, and trying to balance these things. Like, how have you stayed consistent through, I don't know, the possible distractions, obviously, friends, relationships, that kind of stuff, like through these different transitional periods?
So to be fair, like, I'm not really that active. Like, my mates, like, message each other saying, like, in group chats, like, oh, do you want to link up, do this, do that, go for a drink or something. I'm normally the guy's like, mate, I can't make it, I've got work or training. But, like, although I'm in a big, like, I've got a quite big friend group, but the people I chill with is quite small. Like, within that friend group, I've got specific people that I would make time for and all that. But it's been quite like from last year. All my mates went to uni anyway, so most of them have been out in different cities and towns. I've not got that much friends in town at the moment. Like, just still a few, obviously. I'm not lonely, but yeah. But like just been balancing it really. But I always like think about the future, like what I'm going to do. Like, although I'm working full time now, so I'm doing an apprenticeship now as an engineer. Day shot. It's quite a weird combo, I know, like fire and engineer. But plan is, the reason I chose that is just to get qualified in certain, because I need an income. I mean, MMA's not the sport that pays well from the beginning.
No one's there for money.
Yeah, but the plan is complete this apprenticeship, get qualified, and I don't know, do like a freelance contract or something, just something, or part time even, just to. Because obviously when I turn pro, I don't plan on working full time. There's no way that's happening. Because when I turn pro, I have to I have to make this my priority. Like, because the fighters I'm going to go against, they're going to make this their day job basically. So if I don't do the same, that's just disrespecting the whole game. Thinking, I could take everyone on, not balance.
Against the awareness of that, and there's something you said there I really like, is having that other avenue as well. And although you said it's not relevant, you'd be surprised how relevant these things are. These sort of certain things and how you learn, how you understand things. These sort of common themes. And like, for example, you know, if you jab, next time you feint, they're going to flinch a little bit. Yeah. You know the mechanics of why it works. Yeah. So then you know by doing A, I can then do B, C, or D because I've got that A reaction. And again, these sort of concepts and how you learn, this is how these things come together. But again, it's the general awareness I've always been quite impressed with, because again, you get people who are talented, you get people who are just naturally good, people who are just, the sun shines out their arse, you know, they show up at the day, they smash it, they go home, no one likes them. Yeah. But again, you're someone who gets on with it, doesn't make a fuss about it, and again, it's consistent, man. And again, it's the hard work, because this is the point. Like, even like the friends who you chill with, friends who you don't see that often, they only see the training stuff you'll put on Instagram, and they'll see the fights. Yeah. They don't see the 9 to 5 grind, and if that's 9 to 5, and then coming back, and then there's back and forth. Like, that kind of consistency, I've got so much time for it. It's so underappreciated. Now, regards of motivation, not motivation, more sort of structure of training, how you're going to get to where you want to get to. Yeah. Who would you say has been like one of the, I don't know, the biggest influences in that side of things? To be fair, I can't say one person. There's loads of people that do it. I mean, I'm not the only person who's doing. So I mean, I've seen loads of people on social media like that do loads of, that have it worse than me. To be fair, like
they have it harder. Like who I saw this one girl, what's her name? On Insta. She's a mum and she's an MMA fighter. I looked at that. I can't remember her name. Can't remember her name.
Liv Prendergast, that one, the one I had on the podcast, a different one.
It might be a different one. I'm not sure.
Lindsay.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, Molly. That's it. Yeah,
Molly.
like,
My episode with her, she's such a nice lady.
yeah, like when I saw her, I was like, because I was like, I'm not gonna lie. When I first started working, I was like, yo, how do people do this? And I started seeing more people having the same thing. Like she's a mum and she's raising a baby and having an MMA career. Like I can't be complaining. This should be minor to me. Like if she could do that, then I could easily do this. But then just not her. Everyone like Nick. He does 1-to-1s. Like he does a lot of time to do 1-to-1 stuff like that. Same with Jordan. To be fair, like he does. I mean, obviously Jordan's. I know he's dropping some now. Obviously, he's a cage world champion. He's got
featherweight world champion.
Right, he's yeah, exactly. He's got big things coming. But yeah, like there's loads of people that are going through the same thing as me. So that's why I don't deep it that much. Let's get on with it.
No, this is what I mean. This is why it's important, because I like how you said it's not just one person. And again, the question is more around the way you structure things, where you plan to get from A to B. But again, seeing how you maintain it, that's half the battle. Because again, if you can't stick with it, doesn't matter what you're doing off the bat. If you can't stick with it, you can't stick with it.
Yeah.
Now, regards of like, I don't know, camps and things like that. Obviously, camp by camp, it's very different to the opponent. But how do you do your camps? Is it based on your progression, development? Is it tailored on the opponent? How do you like to do yours?
So my camp, first thing I would do is, so if I get as soon as I get an opponent, send it to Danny or Raymond, just tell them, have a look at this guy, get back to me, what's his weaknesses, what's his strength, more importantly, tell me what I should improve on. And yeah, like to be fair, there was a bad thing about me earlier. To be fair, I didn't take criticism quite well. That's to be honest. I just felt like people were having a go at me, but then I'm fixing that now though. Like when someone tells me something, like especially Nick, man, like I appreciate what he does. Like he tells me what I'm doing wrong, and I take it in. And I'm just like, okay, that's what I have to work on. Same with Jordan, same with Raymond, everyone. They all give me criticism. I welcome it like happily. Like shit, yeah, I need to work on that, otherwise it's not gonna work. And also sparring rounds that we do, like we get competitive here, as you know, like we go mad. Like so, something like especially Jordan, bro. The amount of shouting he does when we're doing a hard round, like it's basically a fight, to be honest. Like the pressure that we have. But yeah, but like the people I train with as well, though. Like obviously Jordan Cage World Champion. I'm doing sparring rounds with him. That's a flex on its own. And then, but not just that. Like I'm not the only young person training here. We've got little Dennis and we've got Reese Teasdale as well that I train with. Reese. Yeah, like training with both them. Like when I first started, like obviously they're more experienced than me. To be fair, they've been doing it for a while when I first started. But like I saw that as a good thing for me, because I wanted to get better on groundwork. I got little Dennis for that, man. Like he's a annoying little grappler. He your ankles. Yeah, he loves freaking tapping people out and smirk about it, and then I got Reese. He's a fluent striker, bro. Like he could, like
don't tell me twice.
Yeah, exactly. You see the kicks and punches. I'm like, yo, I've got the best team, man. Like I can't see having a better team than this. So that's why I just think, mate, I've got no excuse to not put work in.
But again, what you said there is so important, because one, you've said off the bat, the critique isn't something you took naturally.
Yeah.
You know how to manage that, because again, it's the whole thing that this isn't natural. Getting punched in the face isn't natural. Getting better at getting punched in the face isn't natural.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to do these things. You have to get better at learning. Not just get better at what you're learning, but better at the learning process. And again, you learn how to manage critique.
Yeah.
If I tell you, I don't know, I don't like the way you drove, you're like, what does that mean? I need to change this, that, and the other. It's not what you're doing wrong, it's how you could make it better. And again, it's the way you've sort of, your maturity helps you deal with that as well, I feel. And again, this is what I'm really, I don't know, when you see people start doing well, the key point is if they get complacent. The fact you haven't been complacent, you've been constantly looking to improve still. It's not, oh, I've got this amateur title here, I've got this amateur fight there. That's I've completed it, done it, see you later.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. No, there's this next step, there's that next step. But it's really important to, I don't know, appreciate how far you've come and what you've been doing. There's a few things with this as well. Obviously, working, training, being, you know, how old are you? 17, 18?
19 now.
19 now,
Yeah.
This is the point. Like I say, you got your life getting on, not in the sense of like getting hurry up with it, but more so the life outside of it, and also burning out. Like, how do you recover? How do you rest? Do you take time off at all? Do you even switch off when you're not training?
Time off training, like that's normally after a fight or something. Because if I take a time, well, to be fair, when I do take time off training, like obviously there've been times where I had to in the past. I just feel a bit bad. Like I don't feel productive. Like I always have to do something. Like it's probably like the balance I've always had throughout my life. Like when I started MMA, was either school and MMA and then working MMA, stuff like that. I just have to feel like I'm doing something. Otherwise, because the way I see it is like loads of people look at me, like my mates and that, like how the hell do you do that? Like get a life or something. Like, how do you waste your time doing that? But I'm like, I'm 19 now. Like, this the youth. Like, this the like peak condition of my life. Like, after 30, after 40, something like that. All the stuff that you do now, that's when I could do it. But right now, this is my physical peak. Like, everything that I want to accomplish, it has to start this age. It has to be this age, because I can't do sparring 3 times a week when I'm 40 or something. Exactly, getting punched in the head. Like, I can't do that when I'm old. So right now, it's the time to do it, in my opinion.
Again, a strong answer. And the reason it's a strong answer as well is the awareness.
Yeah.
And again, this is something that always gets lost on the younger athletes, where they think they know everything already. But again, your awareness that, you know what? Yes, I'm young. Yes, I've got time, but I've only got so much time. I've got this window to get in. Yes, I need to recover when I need to. Yes, I need to see my friends when I want to have a bit of a break. But also, the clock is still ticking to some extent. I've got to get on with it if I want this.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, because you want it, you'll go it. Like, you tell most people, after you've done your 9 to 5, do a Shark Tank, do the Monday evening Shark Tanks, and then do 5 5s while Raymond says you're not ready for your fight, hurry up, do more rounds, your shit. Yeah. And then afterwards, like, you know what, break it down. And you tell me you want to do that. Yeah. Exactly. Whereas you say, do you know what, do you want to be Cage Warriors UFC champion? You don't even question the process. You don't question the pressure test. You don't question it, because again, it's just how it is. It's red. And this is why I don't think these are very important conversations, because again, one thing, the things you've been saying so far, it's not just for you. It's for the people in a similar boat to you, where they're coming up, they're getting stuck in, they're getting started, and it's harder than they thought. They see the McGregors, they see the flash things, they see the things they like. But what happens when you get hit in the body with Larry Teasdale? What happens when Raymond takes you down? What happens when Danny spanks you when you're in a bad position? Yeah. You think, really, okay, this is what I signed up for. Yeah. But then it's the reality of it. It's the overcoming it. It's managing it. It's so much more important. And regards of, there's a few things with this. Your composure and the way you take critiques. Remember after cornering you and your, was it?
Yeah, Lucas Salsa. Yeah.
What fight was it? It was up in, because Gladiator. Which one was it? No, it was up in Stoke-on-Trent, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
GPK.
That's the one, yeah. Because again, like after that fight, as much as you did win that fight, Danny was quite openly critical to you regards your performance, and then you took that very well. I was quite surprised with that.
To be fair, that was probably my worst performance. Like, although I won it, that was definitely my worst performance. But that was my first time fighting upper weight class at 70 kg.
With knees to the head as well. It's very weird rules.
Yeah. But it was weird. The thing is, because I thought. Because obviously I would normally cut down to 66 kg. I thought cutting down to 70 kg, I thought it would be piss easy. And to be fair, it was just me being a stupid idiot, man. I just didn't do that much cardio, thinking, I haven't got that much weight to lose, I could take it easy. That's what I thought. Also, before the fight, like a retard, I was munching on some hot cross buns just before I came out. So I was like what? Right now looking back on it, I was like, what a dumb youth, man. But just, and when I went out, I obviously tried to give a performance. Like, I think, like, you know when you spar on a full stomach, it's basically that, but because I had so much adrenaline in me, I didn't notice that was a problem.
What a horrible combination.
Yeah, but
oh god,
yeah,
awful.
But that fight could have went either way, to be fair, as well. So like, definitely my worst performance. But to be fair, that was when I learned about, like, when Danny did criticize me, he did mention how poor my wall wrestling was. But from then, man, that's what I've been working on loads. Like, if you watch my last fight, that's when I did my wall wrestle was slick there, in my opinion. Looking at that,
was that the Contenders fight? Or was that another one?
Contenders, that was, yeah. The outdoors one, quite sick.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, and then so just that second fight was really opened my eyes. Like, right, you can't take the piss out of Fight Cup. Nah, but to be fair as well, that last fight, although that was my best performance, that fourth one, I also didn't take training seriously then. To be fair, I could have trained a lot harder. Like Jordan and JB was saying, bro, like, what's going on? Like, you're not training as hard as you normally do. And to be fair, I just let lockdown get to me, man. Like,
yeah, that's it. So let's just stop you just there then.
Yeah.
The last fight you did was the first event during a pandemic.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't have the gym open. You didn't have all the training partners you normally had.
Yeah.
You did what you could with what you had. So, yes, you could have done more if you had the facilities, but you didn't. You did what you could, and obviously you could always say you could have done more. So let's just rein that in a bit of context. Because again, if it was like a normal fight back in normal times, you know, a different conversation. You're slacking and doing what you're doing, but you know, bit of slack. Obviously, like, you know, bigger picture, but you know, at least give yourself a bit of a break.
Yeah, true. But again, the way I see it, Jordan and JB were right, to be fair. Though, like, I mean, they didn't tell me right at the end. They told me like when it was like 3-4 weeks left, and that, like, at first I was like, oh, what? I've been training hard the whole time. I even like spoke back to him like, nah, I think I'll be doing well. And then I just deeped it, like, bro, why are you arguing? They're telling you that because they want you to do good. They don't want you to lose. Like, same with Nick as well. He did the same things. Like, bro, stop coasting. Like, you need to get on, put the grind in. Like, and to be fair, although that was my best performance, but to be fair, that was a harder opponent. Who knows what could have happened? Like, luckily it was 4 weeks left, and I put the hard work in, and still, that's what managed to do a good performance. But yeah. But next camp, I'm not messing about, man. Like, I'm getting all the work in I can, and that, like, if you see the improvement between my third fight and my last fight, big gap, and that's for me saying that that camp wasn't the best. If I put the best camp in now, and it's going to be about a year, my next fight after my previous one, so I bet I'm hoping for much bigger improvements in that inside.
There's a lot of maturity in this. There's a lot of things of this. I've said this quite a few times now, and I keep saying the maturity of this I'm really impressed with. Because again, when you win, people think you win or learn. Because if you've won, you don't have to learn because you already did it right. Yeah. No. And what you've done there is perfect. You've taken the critique still. You didn't get, oh, I won, I don't need to listen. You then questioned your own insecure sort of reaction that, oh shit, I put it back a bit, but wait a minute, why are they saying that? It's not just for fun. Sometimes it is for fun, but you know when it's not for fun. Yeah. And sometimes, you know, there's actually the reason behind it, and appreciating that. But also being stung by your own mistakes and realising their mistakes. Because result aside, if you won or lost that fight, you'd still have the same reaction you had now of, that wasn't enough. Yeah. And again, this is where the maturity is still really starting to show. And again, this is where, I don't know, the genuine excitement to where your career is going to go with this same kind of mindset, this kind of openness, that coachability. Again, it keeps on going, and a lot of time for that. And there's so much with this. And with the outdoor event and the actual competition, like, again, that layoff from competition, that time away from it, did you feel any kind of ring rust at all? You won for ring rust and competition frequency?
Nah, because to be fair, it was a whole new experience. I was like, oh, it's outdoors, innit? Like, proper gypsy way, man. Like, it felt good. Like, just, like, it was a breeze as well. And then
that's the point as well. Yeah. Like, colder as well, cool down a lot easier.
Yeah, it's quite sick. Like, I mean, there was I was told that if it did start raining, it's possible they could cancel all the fights, but luckily that didn't happen. But flipping, yeah, that fight.
Just fighting the rain, it was like a film.
That fight was just, yeah, it was just sick. It's outdoors. Like, that's the first time it's happened in history for MMA, hasn't it? So
no, it happened in battle arenas. They've done it. You get the odd ones here and there, but like either way, it's the first one in a pandemic. It's the first one this year. First one in that format. Yes. Yeah. I say you can have a street fight outside in MMA rules if you really want. Again, you can get nitpicky with it, but yeah, definitely it was a huge opportunity. It's a huge platform. Again, your performance there was clinical, dominant ground and pound, and again, it was a lot of patience and understanding. Because again, as much as it isn't always helpful ever trying to finish the fight, it's retaining, okay, I'm going to keep position, not going to overcommit to these strikes, I'm going to keep where I am and not sacrifice position and then win the decision or whatever it is in the end. But again, it's the constant kind of prioritising, understanding, assessing. It's not just, I'm in a fight, I'm going to kill you. It's a sport, you're playing the rules. And this is what I mean. As much as it is a cage fight, yes, it's MMA, yes, it's street fight, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. It's a sport. The fact you can have that composure for being a sport and treat it like a sport as well outside of the passion is a very impressive sign. As I say, I'm conscious we're a bit short of time still because obviously you've got the commitments being, 24/7 savage you are. Yeah, of course. 3 questions I end every podcast with. The first one I'm going to ask you, I want your honest answer to all of these, your experience. First question is, you are about to make the walk to fight, to compete in whatever it is. But in walks you. You're going to give yourself a quick word. What do you say to yourself to make sure you perform in the best headspace?
Don't be a bitch. No, I'm joking. I mean, partly, yeah.
He's gonna knock you out. I can feel it.
Exactly. Nah, to be fair, just remember like how you got here. Like you're training with the best of the best. Like we've got such high level here at BSD. So nah, but seriously, like everyone that trains it, like even from me, like your groundwork, flipping hell, yeah. Yeah, just flirt with me. Just the cameras are on. No homo. Anyway, yeah, but like the coaches we have and the people are, like. We've got Jordan Vucenic, Raymond Paul, Tom Mearns. The list goes on. List goes on. There's loads of people that I need to shout out, but obviously I ain't got time. But yeah, just remember like how many people put the work in you, and just remember, just relax now and let the work that you put in play. Perfect. Because again, that's what's going to stick. Yeah. Again, your pressure testing is specific to what you're going to do anyway, and again, that's the point. It's when you get the sort of the critique, the comments, and when the sparring's going on, this sort of intensity is there to create that experience. So when you're under the bright lights, you're used to that composure, you're used to that kind of pressure, and you can get your own experience with that. Spot on. This is when you'll appreciate more, I think. Ready? Post-win, got your big plastic trophy you fucking bled for. Yeah. What is in the takeaway? What's on the drive home? Hitting the services, what you saying? There we go. Look at this business now. Look, he's sat up as well.
This is getting deep now. This is where you.
It's different every camp, but let me think.
What does the heart want?
It's normally like, Jordan put me on this, by the way. My cookie dough, bro. That bangs. Like that tastes amazing.
It's different, yeah.
Like when you took me there, it was like.
The sweet of a savoury for you then, is that a preference?
Yeah, it's normally sweet stuff to begin with, and then it goes to begin with. Obviously, like there's loads more stuff I eat after, but like it's the my cookie dough to begin with, and then it'll be something just stupid high in calories, like pizza or something, because that has mostly and a kebab. Yeah.
We won't go too in depth, but the cookie dough. What is the flavour of the cookie dough? What is the chocolate that's going in the cookie dough? Again, this is levels, man. You're going to be professional, so you need to act like a professional. I need professional answers.
Okay.
Cookie dough. Break it down. Talk to me. What's going on?
So it's going to be on the menu, Rocky Road. So that's got like Oreos.
Oh, that's underrated. Go on,
it's got loads of stuff.
Oh my man, that's fucking.
And then
I'm gonna spot that.
Yeah, but like I'm a weirdo. I like peanut butter, so I put peanut butter on top of that as well. Just I don't know. I'm a weird guy for peanut butter.
You cut down to 66 and you want to fight, you have what you want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, put that on top, and then. Thing is, I've had all that before, and then there was a time when I went on a day out with Jordan and Haddy. They didn't finish their cookie dough, and I finished it for them.
There we are.
So yeah, I'm a
big man.
Fatso, bruv.
Nah, you love your life, man. You got to love your food as well. And last question: day one beginner, much like who you used to be, walks in full of beans, wants to do everything, full of enthusiasm. What advice do you give them to get started on the right foot?
It's not going to be a constant growth all the time. There's going to be days where you're going to be like, right, is this even for me, or is this? But just remember, like, you're training with people who've been doing a lot longer than you, so just take it in, just get on with it, and just keep coming to the classes. So
definitely. Again, it's a whole spectrum. Again, you get levels. You can be the big fish in the small pond, but your growth will only be as big as that pond. But again, you can go with bigger fish, different kind of fish. You have different kind of traits and characteristics, and again, you start to develop, start to grow. Obviously, we're not fish, but the point still stands of we're making our incremental growth. We've got a different change, and again, it's appreciating the bigger picture. That it's not all upwards. The trajectory isn't always linear, but it's always in the right direction. Asman, thank you for your time today. Sponsors, who do you want to shout out?
Well, it's a bit weird to shout you out, but we're on your podcast, but yeah, shout out to Fisticuffs, shout out to Good
Performance Nutrition.
Yep, that's it. Do it for me. It's probably some CBD Life UK. They've been helping me out. Who else? More income in the future. I don't know what's going on yet. Everything's unstable, but yeah. And just to end with everything, excuse the stuttering throughout the video. First podcast and everything, so like.
I didn't know it's spotting. So before we wrap up with my sponsors and stuff.
Yeah.
Fuck, shout out Ahsan, man. Like, think about this is what I want to do more of as well, because again, the amateurs, the people who are building their careers, getting established, they need the experience, they need to get used to this stuff. And look at that fucking first podcast, he smashed it, man. He fucking smashed it.
Yeah.
But now with podcast sponsors, before we get into mine. Sponsor the AMIs where you can. Like I said, I sponsor Ahsan, I sponsor other people, but again, it's not just me myself, it's other companies taking that chance to invest in these people. You're not paying to promote your business with them, you're investing in their career, and if they can reciprocate that, happy days. But again, it's you're investing in these people. I'm working on things behind the scenes to help us make it more financially viable, but definitely it's so worth it. Again, you get to have the highs with them and the lows with them as well. It's investing in the emotions, it's so important. Check out the podcast sponsors. We've got the English Hypnotist, so Richard Hart. We talk about the mental health side of things, the well-being, and again the management, because again when it comes to competing and developing, there's always these hurdles, there's always these things in the way, there's always your own self-doubt, and even then if you're in a good place, get in a better place. It's understanding things you say and things you do. So a conversation with Richard, the English Hypnotist, game-changing. And also Good Performance Nutrition, they sponsor the podcast as well as us and other athletes. And again, when I say about sponsoring people who support people, and again, support people who support other people. Dan Good in himself, he's a person, he's a professional MMA fighter, he's someone who cares about people. He's a family-orientated person, he's a people person. His business is about making people better and feel better in themselves sustainably. It's not quick fixes. And the nature of what this supplement company is, it's quality products, it's affordable, and it's everything on it is literally good performance. Less is more. It's not all the bells and whistles, but what it is exactly what it says. Good value, good quality, what more do you want? And again, Fisticuffs at checkout, 10% off. I think Ahsan's got an affiliate code, I'll stick that in the description. But yeah, Fisticuffs hybrid shorts are now in stock. Check the website, fisticuffspodcast.com. But other than that, take care, stay safe, stay humble, keep being you. Thank you for your time, my friend.